If you really want a singer to voice a Smurfette in like these Smurfs movies, next time you make a version of Smurfs, I honestly would be down for Ariana Grande as Smurfette. That would automatically be by default the best Smurfs movies ever, because not only is Ariana Grande like a great singer, one of my favorite singers in general actually, but at least she can act like far better than all the other singers who attempt to be actresses. So, yeah, Ariana Grande as Smurfette, and then maybe I'll give that's whatever Smurfs movie that is a chance. Oh, well, I guess the live action Smurfs movies deserve an apology. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another review. And oh no, guys, fuck no, this is not a review. This is an extreme epic rant on Smurfs. So, Smurfs is the fourth theatrically released Smurfs movie overall, and the third attempt at iterating the franchise because one of the first iterations technically has two films, and then we got Smurfs: The Lost Village, and now this one. And this is directed by Chris Miller, the same director as Shrek the Third. The same guy who ruined the Shrek franchise. And it stars Rihanna, James Corden, Nick Offerman, JP Carliak, Dan Levy, Amy Sedaris, Natasha Leon, Sandra Oh, Jimmy Kimmel, Octavia Spencer, Nick Kroll, Hannah Waddingham, Billy Lord, Sholo Marindueña, Kurt Russell, John Goodman, Chris Miller, uh, Marshmello, Spencer X, Hugo Miller, DJ Snake, etc. And so the film tells the story. Oh boy, what the fuck is this story? Anyways, boy, this is gonna be this is gonna be paid to explain. So let's get this over with. So that's the story while taking place in this Smurfs village where all the Smurfs dance and are happy, similar to like the trolls in the Trolls trilogy, and each one has an identity. But then there's this Smurf named No Name Smurf who is basically a Smurf with no specific personality, and so his character arc in the film is he needs to find out who he really is, what kind of Smurf he is, and and although he eventually he easily finds out that he is a Smurf with magical powers, which is his identity and wants to be called Magical Smurf. Papa Smurf rejects him and saying that magic is not a real personality for the Smurfs. Oh wait, you thought this was about Smurfette because the marketing was like, oh, Rihanna is the star of the film and Smurfette is the lead. Well, no. The no name Smurf voiced by the worst actor of all time, James Corden, is the main character. So then the film later on, like 10 minutes into the film, or maybe 15, I think, it eventually forgets about this whole story of no name Smurf trying to find out who he really is. So when Papa Smurf gets kidnapped by Rozumel, who wants to take over the Smurf village. And so, yeah, Papa Smurf gets kidnapped, and so the Smurfs go into the real world to rescue him. They come across Papa Smurf's brother, Nick Offerman's character, who I forgot the name, but Nick, yeah, and also the International Smurf, something, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they go in, and they're actually in this live action world. Like that's where they go to find Papa Smurf. Yes, they go back to the live action world, just like Smurfs 2011, and of course they must stop the evil Rosumel from pretty much taking over Smurfs, and pretty much Rosumel's goal is to like create the multiverse with this book, and I don't give a fuck. And I only mentioned Roosevelt, so you're probably gonna be wondering, wait, Frozen, what about Gargamel? Oh, I'll get to Gargamel later on as you review. Like I got something to say about Gargamel, and there's a reason why I did not bring it up in the synopsis. All right, yeah, when yeah, you can already tell this story is a huge fucking mess just by me explaining it. My synopsis may be a mess, but that's really the movie's fault. Anyways, yeah. Now, as for my thoughts on the other Smurfs movies, I wanna clarify something first. I am not a Smurfs fan myself. Like I never was. Like I'm not someone who was. I was never attached to like the Smurf material, this the source material, which is like uh, um, cartoon, like a very old cartoon show. I think there was a comic strip of this too that the cartoon was based on, but that's the best I heard about the Smurf source material. And honestly, I don't really give a shit to know about the Smurfs lore and the source material, where even the live action Smurfs movies was adapted from, because I don't give a shit. I'm not even a Smurfs fan myself, like at all. So yeah, I have only seen the Smurfs movies. I have never seen the Smurfs cartoon, and I did watch Phantom Shredder's top five most overrated cartoons of all time, where one of his picks is like the cartoon Smurfs. And after hearing about it and seeing clips of that Strider showed in that video, I have no intention of watching the Smurfs cartoon, because fuck yeah, that it looks like fucking shit. And yeah, so yeah, I saw the two Smurfs movies in theaters, Smurfs 2011 and Smurfs 2013, Smurfs 2. Yeah, they both suck. They both the hate that they both had are well deserved. Now I will say that I didn't really have like I don't remember what I personally thought of them when I first saw them in theaters, but as a critic now, yeah, I'm confident in saying that the live action Spurs movies are piles of bullshit. They're absolutely horrendous. And yeah, now yeah, I think I'm not even sure on which Merce movies is worse, but based on what I remember from those two movies, I actually remember hating the first one more than the second one. Last time I did my Soy Pictures animation marathon in preparation for Mitchell's versus the Machines back in 2021. Yeah, I thought the first one was slightly worse. Yeah, but yeah, they're both like terrible. The Smurfs look hideous. They're so annoying, and don't get me started on the boring as hell human characters. And then you got Smurfs Lost Village, which is like the one Smurfs movies I skip in theaters. Well, technically, this new one is now the second Smurfs movies that I skipped in theaters. But yeah, I'd say Smurfs: The Lost Village is the most tolerable Smurfs movie, but it is also the most forgettable Smurfs movies too. Like like that movie being so forgettable is like the biggest problem with that film. But it's just not as bad on the same level of bad as the live action Smurfs movies. So yeah, when they announced that there was a brand new Smurfs movies coming, I was already dreading this movie, because why the fuck do we need another reboot of Smurfs? As this is like the third time we're seeing Smurfs get adapted, and does anyone even care about the Smurfs anymore? Like I'm sure nobody cares. But the only difference is that this is a Paramount movie, that's Sony movie, and I think that and I personally think that Sony is a better studio than Paramount, so there was a chance that Paramount could give us a worse movie than Sony. And then the trailer came out. And let me tell you right now, I think we all know that the Smurfs trailer for this movie is one of the most hated trailers in recent years, and it's basically it got the emoji movie treatment in terms of just how people already shit, I dropped something. Yeah, people already hate this movie based solely on the trailer alone, and this was considered by many to be their least anticipated movie of the year. And while I wasn't dreading And yes, I did consider this as my second most anticipated, least anticipated movie of the year. I might just say, under the live action How to Train Your Dragon remake. And yeah, and yeah, this movie it got critically panned. It has a 20% Rotten Tomatoes. Good, it's well deserved. I was honestly worried that people were gonna be surprised by this, knowing that that's how people treat kids' movies with bad marketing. Like specifically those are not by Disney, they're gonna end up saying, "Oh, this is actually good. It's surprisingly good. It's a harmless, fun kids movie." But yeah, I saw a movie online earlier this morning. It's 10 p.m. by the way as I'm recording this, and after seeing the Smurfs movie for myself, I gotta say, this movie fucking sucks. This movie is somehow manages to be even worse than I expected it to be. Smurfs 2025 is not only the worst anime movie of the year, but it is one of the worst anime movies I have ever seen in my life. Right up there with Despicable Me 4 and the Trolls trilogy. This is without question the worst Smurfs movie of all time. This makes the live action Smurfs movies look like masterpieces in comparison. I am not fucking kidding you. Now, thankfully, this dodged the bullet of being the worst movie of the year, as the How to Train Dragon remake still exists, and I still stand by considering the How to Train Dragon remake as the worst movie of the year. Now, I will say that yes. Speaking of the How to Train Dragon remake, I just want to mention this quickly. Despicable Me 4 went back to being my true worst movie of all time on reflection and on rewatch of that film. But How to Train Your Dragon remake is my worst live action movie of all time and my second worst movie of all time. So yeah, at least this movie was at least had a lucky shot of coming out in the same year as How to Train Your Dragon, or maybe even last year since Despicable Me 4 came out that year. And if this movie came out in 2023, I mean you got Trolls. Yeah, you got the Trolls movies too. You got the yeah. Well, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, moving on. Even if I hate the How to Train Your Dragon remake more, I think this is a worst made movie in every single way. On an objective and filmmaking standpoint, this is the worst of the year, easily. This is one of those anime films that represents everything wrong with animated movies today, and I am so glad it's getting on the hate it deserves. Now, where the fuck do I start with this? This uses the comic booky animation style that people compare it to Spider-Verse. Out just when people thought that an anime film with the Spider-Verse animation style can't possibly be bad, now we got this. Yeah, this is like proof that even like anime, everyone's favorite animated animation style can still end up being a bad movie in quality. Yeah, sure. We got which is an anime film with the Spider-Verse animation style that people hate like with a burning passion, and I think Wish has the most unfair hate ever. But and people even say that the Wish is a disgrace to the art of the Spider-Verse animation style. Y'all seriously need to apologize to Wish for saying that movie makes the worst use of the Spider-Verse animation style because this movie is a fucking spit in the face to the art of the animation style. Not only does it make poor use of the style, but it abuses this style too. The character designs are so cheap looking that it makes me question what the animators were going for with this. Now going out of the animation. Just a sec. Okay. The marketing for this film has been so focused on the fact that, oh, Rihanna is perfect. And it keeps constantly shoving it down our throats that Rihanna is perfect. Yet the main character of the film is the no-name Smurf, voiced by James Corden, the worst actor of all time. Besides the plotlines we saw in the trailer, like Papa Smurf getting kidnapped by Rosumel wanting a book, the Smurfs going to the live-action world to save Papa Smurf. The story of this film is apparently about the no-name Smurf who must find out what kind of Smurf he is. We learned that he's a magical Smurf, but then the asshole Papa Smurf is like, oh no, that's not a real identity for a Smurf. You have to find a true identity. Blah blah blah. Yeah, fuck off, Papa Smurf. Papa Smurf is honestly the worst of the Smurfs here. He is such an asshole. Good God. Um, yeah. We all know this movie rips off the 2011 Smurfs movie with the Smurfs going to the real world thing, but they also had the balls to copy Smurfs The Lost Village with the identity crisis character arc. Can this movie get any lazier than that? Oh, and speaking of the real world, why did they have to go into the real world? Like, at least the live action Smurfs movies knows that it's a live action animation hybrid movie and pretty much a live action movie. The live action stuff in this movie were useless because the live action humans were just backgrounds. Yeah, like seriously, like none of the human characters interact with the Smurfs. There are times when the movie like pretty much pulls up a Tom and Jerry by only showing like the feet of the human characters. Although we technically do see the heads of the faces of the human characters, but just as backgrounds. The closest thing we got to is the Smurfs interacting with live action human characters. Uh, is the fact that the the humans almost stepped on Smurfs, and the Smurfs had to escape from the humans attempting to step on them. Well, not on purpose, but the actual plot of the movie is such a huge mess, one of the messiest anime movies ever made, as it doesn't know what it wants to be, doesn't want to have an identity crisis storyline. Well, the movie apparently forgets about the identity crisis storyline in the second act. Doesn't want to be a musical. Well, there were only three musical numbers in the film, and all of them suck. With the worst song being "Everything Goes with Blue." Yes, what a cringe-worthy song. And that was a song you used for that shitty opening dance that both chairs showed, by the way. And I will admit though, there was one song number that I did not hate, but it came off as rather forgettable, so I cannot say I like that song. I forgot what title that song is, but it's basically Smurfette singing about what the no name Smurf can be, like you can be this, you can be that, yeah, so blah 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 all that stuff. It's a terrible song, but just forgettable. Oh, and also it doesn't want to be a multiversal film. Oh God, don't get me started on the fact that this is multiversal. The third act goes all out with the multiverse elements, and to me, this is a film that shows Hollywood overusing the multiverse in their films. Say what you want about the MCU overusing the multiverse, but the MCU is at the multiverse saga right now. Like the MCU is at the multiverse era, so you all have to deal with it. The multiverse is important to the MCU, and the MCU needs the multiverse right now until like Secret Wars and stuff. I mean, the climax of the movie consists of Rosamund chasing the Smurfs in different universes. Now, I kid you not, that scene is a copy of Spot traveling to different universes through holes across the Spider Verse. Yeah, Rosamel is the worst villain of the year without a doubt. I barely know much about the Smurf story, like what I said earlier, but did Rosamel exist in the Smurfs' source material? It felt like he was just a made-up character. Oh, and do you want to know how Rosamel got defeated? By the Smurfs saying their infamous la 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 la, sing a happy song. Yeah, that bullshit. That always annoyed me, by the way. And the fact that the Rosabelle got defeated by that shitty ass song, what a weak ass pussy he is. And yes, guys, Rosamel is the true real main villain of the film. You thought that Gargamel was the real villain of the film? Now, I will admit that though, even though as much as I hate the live action Smurfs movies, um, the one thing I do kind of tolerate, maybe even come close to liking, is Gargamel. Yeah, I think the actor that plays Gargamel does try his best with the material that he's given. But yeah, and I straight up like Gargamel in Smurfs Lost Village. He's the best character of that film. But this movie does the unthinkable of making of yeah of making Gargamel a good guy. Like, sure, he's a slightly evil at first, but it turns out he's actually on the Smurf side over Rosamel. He may be working with Rosamel, but Rosamel eventually becomes like betrays Gargamel, and Gargamel apparently because like Gargamel doesn't actually agree with Rosamel's plan, and Gargamel goes easy, and all that stuff. And then Gargamel eventually eventually kicks the ass of Rosamel's assistant, and literally he frees the Smurfs from and helps them escape Rosamel's castle, and gives the Smurfs advices on how to foil Rosamel's evil plan. I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck? That is not Gargamel. That's actually one of the worst things in the film, and he is the worst character in the film to me. The Snooter Boots are just there to sell toys, and also the other Smurfs like the International Smurfs and the Nick Offerman Smurf. Yeah, they are useless too. Now, are there any positive? Is there anything positive I can say about the film? Um, I guess I will say this though. The only good thing about the film is that influencer Smurf is not in it. That is the only good thing about the film. But that's it. So overall, I think the live action Smurfs movie deserves an apology because Smurfs 2025 is nothing but a brainwash movie made for the lowest demographics. But even kids won't appreciate this movie because this movie is boring. Don't give your don't give your money don't do not give your money to see this film in theaters. Yeah, you can hate watch this film and watch it online, or maybe even wait for a digital all you want. But let this flop at the box office. I implore you, let this flop at the box office. If you want to watch a movie in theaters, watch Superman instead. That's out right now, and even better, wait for save your money for the Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, this is already the worst anime movie of 2025. I doubt anything will top this shit. And I would honestly put this in my as my fourth worst movie of all time, behind Despicable Me 4, How to Train Your Dragon remake, and the Trolls trilogy. So yeah, so I said, guys, um I'm gonna give Smurfs 2025 0 stars out of 5. Fuck this movie. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot to mention, if you want to watch an actual great, like masterfully made animated musical, just watch K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have watched it already, just rewatch that film because that is a true masterpiece right there. So also for my extreme epic rant on Smurfs 2025, what are your thoughts on the film? Would you agree with me that this movie is an absolute disaster and the worst movies ever? Well, I'm sure everybody hates this movie, but yeah, would you say who agrees with me that this is the worst Smurfs movies ever? Or do you still think the live action Smurfs movies are worse? And if you actually like this movie, well, I'm sorry, but if you actually defend this movie, then I will fucking question you. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos to come. I'm not sure what video will come out. My next intended review will be on the Fantastic Four First Steps, but that won't happen until like Thursday, like on July 24th. So I'm sure that there's gonna be like another video I would do before Fantastic Four First Steps. I'll just have to think about it. So yeah, bye guys.